Okay, so here are the rails, and here is our show.
Completely off. Completely gone today. What in the world? Derailed.
Yay, you're here. Welcome to the CK and GK podcast. Let's get going.
Welcome to Tuesday.
Yay, it's Tuesday. We're so glad you're here.
Thanks for tuning in. It's CK and GK, the show where we tell you all of the things that we had to learn the hard way. With me this week is not a stop sign, but you are going to slow down when you see this redhead. Caitlin.
I like that. You're going to slow down. Why? Because I'm probably going to be standing in the middle of the street yelling at you to slow down like I do to the other people in my neighborhood who blow past the stop sign.
Or freaking out because you poked a doll's head in the middle of the night.
Yeah, that was when I bolted across the street. I definitely did do that. That was stupid and hilarious. All right. Well, I don't have a great quote for this one, but I just have to say you have the detective skills of Cagney and Lacey. So welcome, Jenny, to the show.
Aw, thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So we hope that you had a very happy Thanksgiving. Sorry that you have to work this week, but it was nice having some time off last weekend.
Mm-hmm. I have to say this one thing before we get into too much more. You ready? It's our podcast birthday. What?
Yay!
Yeah, we are
Happy
1 year old.
To
We
us.
are
Oh,
one.
yeah, we are 1 year old.
Yeah, we
And you know what?
Our first episode on November 28th of last year. So we're 1 year old. Yay!
How incredible is this that we released our first episode a year ago? And this is our 48th episode. Like, we have not taken that much time
We
off.
really, really haven't. We have not taken that much
y'all
time off.
be expecting we are going to take some time off in December.
For sure. Yes. But in the meantime, we do have a quick fun cram sesh for you guys today. Just in time.
Cram sesh!
Yeah, just in time for you to wait in line at various in-store places to purchase gifts for people.
Right. Okay, so let's get to it. First part of this show is our circle time. This is where we are sitting on the rug, crisscross applesauce, and telling stories. The first one I have for you is something really, really great. I'm so excited. Peter Gammons from The Athletic just released some information that he gathered about the Astros. He found out from several of Jose Altuve's teammates that he was not involved in the 2017 cheating scandal at all. And when he asked Jose about this, our favorite second baseman said, "It would be a betrayal of my teammates for me to answer any questions about that."
Oh.
But all of his teammates said he was not involved. He was not part of it. And this same Gammons, when he was doing interviews in the locker room, saw that there was some real remorse and with the players that didn't really come across in any of those press conferences when they were revealing things. And it was the lack of remorse that made John and I break up with the Astros. But I guess we should have never taken a break because they were really sad and Altuve was never part of it.
I mean, I'm sure that feels good to hear. I just question why it happened in the first place. You know what I mean? It's annoying that now we're a year later and a championship later. It's like, all right. You know what I mean? I don't know.
It was the fact that when they were called on the carpet, they didn't own up to it.
I mean, I take issue with the cheating in the first place, right? Like I know that signs stealing.
Sure, it's
that's
not
why, like, you know, catchers will do all those crazy like mixtures of signs when there is someone on second. Like, I get all those things. I don't know. It just annoys me.
It's not a great part of the game.
No.
We could have moved on if when they were called out for it, they had said, "Hey, you're right. We did do this when we were at home."
Mm-hmm.
But if you notice, we have a better record when we're on the road. And Jose was never part of it. They should have done that. And we're sorry.
And
they didn't say they didn't say any of those things. And we said we cannot raise our children to see that when you make a mistake or you cheat or you do something wrong, you're not sorry.
Yeah, that's an important point.
And not just like, sorry that we got caught, but like, sorry because we did it. And none of that happened. And we said, okay, well, that's it.
Yeah, I get
But
that.
if they had just cheated and said, hey, we're sorry, we would have said, yeah, well, people make mistakes and we can forgive you and we're still fans.
Hey, we're sorry and we won't do it again. And here's how we're taking steps to make sure it doesn't happen anymore.
Right.
Yeah. So there we go. That's my take on it. But I'm glad that you feel a little better about the team that you have loved for so long. I think that that's a really good thing. And I hope that we can like all just sort of move on from that nightmare of situation.
Yeah, it feels really good for them to have won in this year. And dear Lord, please let there not be a cheating scandal associated with this championship.
Totally get it. Absolutely. Okay, so I'm also going to talk a little bit of baseball, but mine is NCAA baseball. So Brown University announced on the Monday before Thanksgiving that Olivia Pichardo became the first woman to make an active NCAA Division I baseball varsity roster this fall. So she's playing in fall and spring. That's huge. That's so big. Women traditionally not playing Division I baseball and usually are playing softball, right? Like we know a college level like softball player. It was softball that she, you know what I mean? That she and all of her friends. Yeah. So anyway, she's a utility player and a walk-on.
She's a walk-on.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to talk about that in just a second because I think that there needs to be some clarification there. But Brown baseball coach, his name is Grant Achilles, and he said he was impressed by Pichardo's athleticism during her initial tryout and in subsequent practices. She tried out. That's a big deal, right? Achilles, who is entering his 9th season as the coach, said that Pichardo has the, quote, most complete walk-on tryout I have seen from a player since becoming a head coach. So big congratulations to Olivia. I'm going to put the link to that article in the blog post for the week. But I want to clarify a couple of things that I mentioned here. Utility player. You hear that term a lot in baseball, and I think we haven't actually talked about what a utility player is. But this is someone who can play multiple positions all over the diamond. So this is both infield and outfield. You can't say I'm a utility player if you play left field and right field. Those are both outfield positions. You're not utility.
Yeah.
But utility means that you can play, a base position and an outfield position, and you can be moved all over the diamond and you'll be effective in those spots. So that's a big deal that she's well-rounded enough to be utility for the team.
Right. And that means that not only are you fast because you can get under a ball in the outfield, and you have an arm, which means you can throw from the outfield or you can throw from third to first, but also you are a smart fielder.
Absolutely.
Because once you pick up that ball, you know where to send it.
Right. Totally. The other thing is walk-on. So I said she tried out, and I used the term walk-on. You need to know that a walk-on is someone who is not on scholarship, but is on the team. But baseball at the college level is a little different from what we think of as a walk-on in, like, let's say college football, right?
Right.
A baseball team does... There are very few baseball players who are on scholarship at the college level because the number of scholarships available to college teams is very small. So I looked this up. There are 11.7 full scholarships available to a baseball team. Okay. There are 35 to 36 on average roster spots. Okay. So that means there is not even 12 scholarships that are available for 36
so not even
players.
A third.
Not even a third. And you can take that 11.7 and you can divvy it up among 27 of the 35 to 36 players on your roster. So that means even if you give a little bit of money to 27 players, there are going to be roughly 8 or 9 players who are full walk-on with no money at all from the school to play for them, right? So
that's amazing.
The fact that this girl tried out and is a walk-on really kind of indicates to me that she is most likely not getting any money to play for Brown.
Right.
So this is huge. You'll find walk-ons very common
I bet
in
she
baseball.
gets some NIL money.
I hope so. I hope she does. And it's Brown. Like, that's a pretty prestigious university. So I hope she does. But anyway, congratulations. That's really exciting. And I felt like I was such a downer with last week's sports news that I needed to lift it up a little bit.
I am like still reeling from all of this. I am, every time it comes up, I'm like, I'm not watching soccer.
See, and
they will not get ratings from me.
Yeah, I know. And I totally watched at least the men's match, on their first match when they played against Wales. And it was exciting, to watch the first half.
Of course it is.
And then
they're athletes.
Yeah.
They're not involved in this at all.
Right. And they're
upset. I just don't want to offer ratings to FIFA.
I get it. The players are upset, and it's already been a disaster just from the first few days. At this point, it's been a week, but the first few days of FIFA's World Cup tournament have been an absolute disaster. So,
terrible.
Yeah. So it's just, it's I've seen everywhere, like, people are comparing it to Firefest, right? Like, the disaster that was Firefest is like the same thing as what is happening over here. So,
oh my God, that's so good.
It's a
that
great
is really
comparison. So the line that I saw was, "It's giving me Firefest vibes," which
that's
is
so
totally
good. Like, they open their styrofoam containers and it's like piece of bread and cheese.
Right, exactly. That's really what this feels like. So, I did also see one really cool story. Japanese fans don't ever leave the stadium a mess. They don't leave trash anywhere. So when they're going to other matches, they are going around with trash bags at the end of the matches and cleaning up the stadiums with all the trash that other people have left behind. And I've heard of them doing this, but I've never actually seen it. And there's like tons of footage of Japanese fans at World Cup who are cleaning up the stadiums. I thought that was a really nice story to come out of it, even though the rest of FIFA's World Cup has been an actual disaster. There's something to be said for cultures that really emphasize the collective whole and the health of the entire collective group of people. When you compare that to other cultures that are very much, I'm in it for myself, it's a very different vibe. So,
well, and we talk about that at my school all the time. Like, what is individualistic and what is community minded? Right. And there's a lot of times where what is American is individualistic.
100%.
And we have to talk about, like,
totally agree.
This might be what you live in outside of our four walls, but when you're in our school, we're community minded.
Right. And we've talked about this before with when you and I were working at our previous school together. The week of service that we would do was very, very interesting to watch our students, who many of whom come from very upper middle class backgrounds or better, right? Have a mindset of giving to others. But you would see this idea of, yes, we must give to people who are less fortunate. But when it came to assisting people within their own school, they didn't see that need the same way. So I always talked about see a need, fill a need. And even if it's somebody who's, quote, at your same level for whatever it might be, there's still something to be said for taking care of each other, regardless of the status of the people around you. So I don't know. I think that that's a super important thing that we're seeing come out of what's happening with the Japanese fans in FIFA. I'm hopeful that we can sort of make a change towards that for our own communities. Cause I don't know, just there's so much that's happening around us that's making me really upset. And, if we can all just pledge to help each other, we might actually see some good.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Let me tell you what I'm obsessed with these days.
Do it.
Okay. So when we broke down the lovely night that was Austin Mom's Night Out, I talked about farmhouse delivery. Okay. So I have since gotten our meal kits, made them all, and they are amazing. They use reusable packaging. All the ingredients are locally sourced. All of the seasonings and sausage are made in-house. And I'm going to say it's like a little bit more pricey than other meal delivery options out there, but I think it's totally worth the price because you are helping local farmers, ranchers, chefs. These options are totally healthy. It's quality ingredients and it's quality packaging. We have enjoyed 3 different meals from them, and they were all easy to throw together, saved well in the refrigerator, tasted great. I'm all about it. Farmhousedelivery.com.
That's really exciting. The packaging is one of those things that really I have to be mindful of because one, I don't like a ton of packaging. It's a pain to deal with in every way, right? But I'm trying to be a little bit more mindful of the kind of packaging that I'm using all the time anyway. Like, is it compostable? Is it reusable? Like, what's that?
Okay, so they are cooler bags that everything is delivered in, and anything that can be housed in reusable containers is.
Okay. And then if it's a reusable
of course,
bag,
the ice packs are the ones that are reusable.
Oh.
So what you do is you can either set up recurring deliveries and they will pick up when they drop off, or because there's no commitment required, you can actually just email them and say, I'm ready for you to come pick up my packaging, and just leave it on the front porch and they will come and get it.
Oh, that's nice. Okay, I can be into that. That feels good. The meal kit that we use now has compostable stuff, including the ice packs. You just like put it all in the compost bin, and then the plastic that's available, you put that in the like grocery recycling plastic place, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But everything else is all recycled. So that's kind of a big deal to me. I'm glad to see that Farmhouse is doing it that way. I guess if it's locally sourced, you don't have to deal with the same packaging issues, right? Like it's not, you can use reusable things. That's really cool. I like that. I'm glad that it's working out well. Okay, I also have an obsession that is related to Austin.
Oh, how fun.
Yeah, there's a I have social media channels upon social media channels, both for work and for the show, and so that means I have multiple accounts all over the place. And on my personal TikTok page, I happened to find this band called Nightcap. Like nightcap, like a space between. So not like the thing that you put on your head, but like a beverage, right?
Yes.
So they are an Austin band that's available on Spotify. I saw them on TikTok and they have like a quick, 10, 15 second video that's going around right now. And I was very intrigued by what I heard. And so I was like, all right, I'll give these guys a shot. And went to their Spotify page, which I will have linked in the blog. So go there and get that link and listen to this group. Or you can just search for them on Spotify, Nightcap. And I really, really love it. I've been listening to, I think they have like 10 or 12 songs out right now. And then there's some remixes that all are really cool sounding. So I've been listening to them. Just real quick, per their TikTok, they describe themselves as a indie rock band that sounds like a crispy version of Palace meets Kings of Leon. So I can be into that. Like, and they sound great. I really like their songs that I've been listening to, and I've also got their TikTok link in the blog post for the week. So I've been listening for a few days. I'm really into it. I think they're great, and hopefully, big things happen for them. It is Austin. It's a big music city, so I hope something great happens for them.
That sounds great. I'm queuing them up right now.
Yeah, they're awesome.
All right. Gem of the week. Everybody's favorite.
Yeah, give it to me.
Unless you're in our house. 2019 was the last time that we were going to a family Thanksgiving. Because 2020, 2021, these were years where there was this thing called COVID, for which my children were not vaccinated.
Yeah. Nightmares.
In 2019, on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, my child, my small one, tested positive for the flu.
Yeah. Ugh. I remember this.
This year, 2022, the week of Thanksgiving, my child, the small one, test positive for RSV.
Oh.
To quote my husband, Kit is allergic to Thanksgiving.
I guess so. He must not really want to be around family. I mean, here's the thing, right? Like family can go either way. You either want to be around them or you don't. So maybe he's just...
Or you're 4 years old and out of 2 family Thanksgivings, you haven't gone to either.
Right. Maybe maybe he's just...
He was literally born in 18. Okay.
Oh my
And he was
gosh.
born like 4 weeks before Thanksgiving in 18. So we stayed home.
Right.
Because he didn't have an immune system yet.
Right. Oh, man.
So he has never been to a family Thanksgiving.
Well, It'll be really memorable when you guys all get to do it.
Right. So we find out he has RSV. We're like, great, that's awesome. The nurse practitioner was amazing. She was like, so he's contagious for 8 days. I'm like, oh,
it's so
that's kind of
long.
a long time.
Oh, it's so long.
And she was like, look, if you're like over the age of 2 and under the age of 70, it's really not that big of a deal. The problem is John's grandparents are both in their 80s.
Yeah.
We're not going to expose them to this.
No. And if you're going
So we
to
stayed
multiple
home.
family homes, you can't go to one and not the other. Like, that's just not, like,
Right.
someone's going to be mad. So you have to just cancel everything and just be at home.
Exactly.
Oh.
So we're telling Abigail, you know, like, look, we cannot share these germs with anyone.
No.
And she gets visibly upset. And she was like, but I just really wanted a great Thanksgiving this year.
Oh.
So I said, okay, well, like, we can do Thanksgiving at our house. Like, we can still be thankful and we can still make all the Thanksgiving foods. And she said, oh, well, I don't need all the Thanksgiving foods. I just want cranberry sauce and pumpkin pie.
Okay. Down.
And I was like, check.
I'm down.
We
right.
can do that.
Go get a rotisserie chicken.
Yeah. Well, and John was like, nobody ever loves turkey. No one's like, oh, the best part of Thanksgiving is the turkey. He said, the best part of Thanksgiving is the stuffing. So we will make stuffing and we will get ribeyes.
There you go. She loves steak too. So
Yes.
this is perfect for her. She'll
So
love it.
We were thankful for beef this year.
Beef
and
and
the vaporizer.
right. And tissues.
Fixed vapor.
Right, exactly. Oh no. Oh man. Okay. Well, mine is, I have to just give a shout out to my amazing company that I'm working for. It's just a tiny little consulting firm. We are small and we've gotten very tight with each other. And of the 5 of us who are in full time, the managing partner is the only male. And inevitably he's going to hear women conversations, right? Like, it just
Absolutely.
happens. He takes it all in stride. He's a great guy. He's just like, yeah, you know, whatever. And sometimes he'll throw like a dad joke in there too. Like, if we're like, oh my gosh, my hair, he's like, yeah, mine too. And he's bald. So he like really doesn't mind any of that stuff at all. So I had told,
And as long as your coworkers are listening to our show, they can hold their own with the sports talk.
oh yeah, and I think actually he listens to which is amazing. So I
Love
I
him.
know, he's great. So one day, every Monday morning, we have a check-in just to sort of make sure we have priorities set for the week and you know, just see how everyone's doing. So
Right.
one weekend I had stayed home on a Saturday night while my husband went out, and I was using my at-home gel nail kit, which I have talked about on this show. And I just
like, hello, how cool is this? Like, total game changer. Fabulous
for sure.
manicures at home.
yes, I love it.
Continue
So
on.
that weekend I was like relaxing. I was doing my gel nails at home while watching the new season of Great British Baking Show because I hadn't seen any of the season yet. So I was mentioning this to my coworker who was on our Monday morning meeting, and it was just the 2 of us. And then my boss comes in, and he kind of comes in the middle of the conversation, and she's like, oh, that sounds like an amazing night. Like, I would totally be down for like a night of nails and just like relaxing TV. And I was like, oh yeah, it was great. And then my boss goes, so are we going to get to see the nails, or like, what's going to happen now?
Oh my
So
gosh,
I'm like,
I love it.
I know, it was so great. So I'm like, oh yeah. So of course I'm like dangling my nails in front of the camera, and he's like, those are nice. He's like, I love them. They look great. Like, that's well done. And I was very pleased with myself. Like, of course I'm, you know, cracking up at him being like, so are we going to get to see these? Like, I didn't really expect anyone to like care. Right. But like he did.
Right.
And I showed him, and he was like, those look great. So it just made me laugh. So I think I probably laughed about it like over and over again for, you know, a few days. It was great. So
that is hilarious.
yeah, I love when people can just like not care and just be a part of a conversation and have fun. And that's how this group of people is.
Right.
So,
What does it matter?
right. It doesn't. So it was great and fun, and it made me laugh. So there's my gem.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is a cram sesh.
Mm-hmm.
So we are rocking right through this. today we are going to talk about iPhone hacks. And if you are a committed listener, you know that I am really Gen X. Doesn't matter when I was born, my soul is old.
Yeah, it is.
And
your soul and your
that,
taste in television.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure. And music.
Yeah, yeah.
And maybe clothing. Okay. So anyway. So anyhow, this means that I am the person who is all about, I don't care about the bells and whistles, just what can I do to get the job done?
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So today we're going to talk about iPhone hacks, most of which I have no idea, because I thought it was a hack to like use your space bar to move around.
That's a big deal. That you couldn't always do that. So knowing that you can use your space bar as a trackpad is kind of a big thing.
Yes, but like not anymore.
Hold on.
Maybe it was a big deal 18 months ago.
There are people who don't know that. Did you know? Like, so if you're
okay, well, did you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like if you messed up in like the middle of your paragraph on your iPhone, you can tap and hold the space bar and then like move your finger around and like put the cursor where you need it to go so you can fix that one mistake. You don't have to like try and tap inside the text to fix that mistake. You can also hold down the number. Like if you need to type one number in the middle of your sentence, you can hold down the number key the same way, like hold it, tap, hold, and then go to the number, and then you let go, and then it'll go right back to the regular keyboard.
Oh, wow. See, I did not know that.
There you go. Fun fact. So that's the kind of stuff we're talking about today.
Right. I'm going to tell you like the 3 iPhone hacks that I know that like might not be something that everybody already knows.
Okay.
Keeping in mind, Gen X, get the job done. My phone is used to scroll Insta,
Yes.
to text with Caitlin, and to send emails.
And listen to
like,
podcasts.
that's it.
She listens to podcasts.
Oh, and listen to podcasts.
Yes.
And of course, to call my madre.
Right, exactly.
Okay. So you can make your phone a scientific calculator if when you're in calculation or the calculator mode, if you rotate it from portrait to landscape. Okay. Now, why do I need a scientific calculator? Maybe you are trying to find the square root of something, or maybe you are trying to square something, or maybe you are trying to find the cosine or tangent of something. Probably not the latter,
No.
but definitely the former.
You can also use it for parentheses too. Like you might have a parenthetical in a math problem that you're working out, and you can use it for that.
And if you are working on a math problem, like you're helping your kids with homework and you need help, you need the app called Photomath, super free. You can take a picture of a math problem and it will show you step by step how to work it out.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Students, if you are hearing this, I also tell you Photomath is great for students. Here's the problem. You cannot use Photomath on a quiz or a test.
No.
So if you use it on homework to do something other than learn how to do that math, you're wasting your time.
Yeah.
If you use it to just copy the homework, good luck on your test or quiz.
Right.
But if you're using it to actually see step by step how this kind of problem is solved, I'm a big fan.
Yeah, I would encourage you, if you're a student, I would encourage you to like write out every single thing that the app tells you to do, because you can learn by writing it out, just like your teacher would show you how to write out each step piece by piece.
Absolutely.
Do that with Photomath. Yeah. And then like, do a problem like that, maybe do a second one and then stop and see if you can do it by yourself, and then see if Photomath shows you what you did on the third problem. There you go.
Okay.
What else?
So my next one is an iPhone hack, but it's really an iPad hack because my daughter doesn't have a phone. She has an iPad.
Okay.
And she likes to either listen to a podcast or watch a little TV in bed.
Sure. Who doesn't?
And if it's not and if it's not a school night, I'm okay with the TV. If it is a school night, I don't care about the podcast. It's fine.
Yeah.
But I do not want it to play overnight.
No.
So if you use the timer function and instead of choosing a sound to go off with the timer, you choose stop playing, it will end whatever app you're on. So if she's watching something on Netflix, it will actually turn off Netflix. If she is listening to a podcast on Good Pods or Spotify or Apple Podcasts, any place where you could hear CK and GK, you might also use this because it will turn off the podcast when the timer goes.
This is from the timer app, not from like a sleep timer inside the app that you're using.
No, this is from the timer app.
That's very cool.
So I will set it for 25 minutes, and instead of making it do radiate or
right.
da-na-na-na, da-na-na, I make it just do stop playing.
That's smart. I like it. What else?
And because I'm also a mom, I have some funny questions that you can ask Siri. When Caitlin told me that we were going to do this episode, I was like, I don't know how to use my phone. Are you kidding me? Like, iPhone hacks? Please, like, that's no good. I don't even know why I have a fancy phone besides I need a good camera. So these are some funny questions that you can ask Siri and get funny responses. The first one is, do I look good? If you're looking for some self-confidence building, Siri will help you.
That's a nice one.
Siri, are you married? The responses to that are always a gem.
Mm.
Can you tell me a joke? She has tons.
I like it.
And what's my horoscope? This question I have asked multiple times and gotten quite a few great responses.
Interesting. That's one I hadn't heard to ask. So that one is one I'm probably going to give a try. Have you done the thing where, this is for all the people who are like Potterheads out there, have you done the thing where you tell her Lumos and she turns on her flashlight?
Okay, so
it doesn't always work.
I have actually seen you do it.
Yeah.
And the first time that you said it, it didn't work.
Yeah. It doesn't always work.
And you're like, wait, no, we're doing it again.
It did work. Yeah, it does sometimes. Like, you can get it to work, but
no, it totally worked the second time.
Yeah.
But the first time, like the look on your face of sheer disappointment.
Right,
like,
disappointment and probably embarrassment too. Like, oh man, like I told her it worked and now I'm lying. Yeah, so those are fun. All right, you can do the same thing with some of your AI devices that I don't want to say the name of in case you're listening to something out loud. And trigger, spying in your house, but whatever.
Right.
Okay, so I have mine are a little bit more technical, but
wait,
useful.
like yours actually help you? They don't just tell you funny things to say?
Well, some of them tell you funny or do funny things. Okay, so my first one is you can set a custom vibration notification for a person. So
that is fun.
So, for example, you can have a certain vibration for your mom versus your husband. Like for me, Bryce has a different vibration than for you, right? Like and there's like a few people.
That is amazing.
Yeah, there's a few people that like I feel like I kind of need to know if they're messaging me, and so the alert vibration is different. So that's how I've.
Do you have a special one for Abigail in case she is texting you to say that she's taking Mama home?
It comes from your number. So yes. So that's one. So the way that you do that is you just go to the person in your contacts list and you tap on edit, and then you scroll down a little bit and there's a thing that says text tone and then vibration. And then you can you scroll down a little bit more and you tap on create new vibration, and then you can just sort of tap a pattern and it will record the pattern, and that will be the new vibration for that person. So super easy.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So that's one. Another one, this is one I learned accidentally. So it wasn't like I sought out doing this. I just sort of happened upon it one day.
Kind of like penicillin.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly like penicillin. And just as helpful. Ready? You can make a sticker of yourself or of something in a picture, like something in the foreground of a picture. If you're looking at a picture and you like what's in the foreground and you want to like just cut that out and then get rid of the rest and use it as like I don't know, like one of those Bitmoji stickers or whatever, you can do that.
Right?
You just tap on that thing.
It like cuts it out?
Yeah. You tap on whatever that is in the foreground of the picture, and then you'll see like this weird sort of white light trace around the object in the foreground. And then you just copy it and you can paste it onto something else. So this is sort of hard to explain over a podcast. So I did actually screen record myself doing this with one of our pictures from the Austin Moms event. and I'm going to put it in the blog post for this. But you just like tap and hold the little thing in the foreground.
You're so fancy. You made a video.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I made a video of it. And that's just from your lock screen on your iPhone. Yeah, you just tap and hold the whatever's in the foreground. Like I've done it with Sam. I've done it with like a cat. You know, you just tap and hold, and you'll see a little white line go around it, and then you just turn into it. You copy it and turn.
I've done it with my child or like a cat.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. Sometimes the cats make funny faces, and I need to cut out the cat picture and just put it somewhere else. So that's one. You like the timer thing. So you can set a timer from your lock screen, but you can also customize the timer from your lock screen. You don't have to like go to your lock screen and then click on the timer and then open up your phone. You can do it while the phone is still locked. Have you done that before?
Yes.
Okay. So
I am a big fan from the lock screen thing.
Yes. So you just tap and hold the timer button from your lock screen, and then you can drag your finger up and down and set the timer. So some people didn't know you could do that. I'm just pointing that out. It's not super new, but it is one that is very handy in a pinch. Another one. This is one that I really love, and it's called text replacement. So
what is that?
So sometimes you're like typing something like you type the same thing over and over again, like, you know, on my way or leaving now or whatever, right? And it's annoying, right? So you can make a shortcut for that with just text replacement. So what you do is you go to settings and then general and then go to your keyboard. And then from there you can tap on text replacement, and then you just do the little plus. And so like for me, I have OMW is on my way. So I put in the phrase, I put in like on my way. And then in the shortcut, I put in OMW. And then when I go to text someone, I don't have to type in on my way. I can type in OMW and it will just automatically populate with on my way, and then I can send it.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I need YAJ. You're a jerk. Yeah. Something I send to my husband all the time.
Do it. You can do it. It'll go fast that way. You can just do YAJ and it'll pop right up. So like I did it for like the initials of my son's daycare for a long time. I would be like, oh my, like it's so annoying to, you know, type these out. So I would just make sure that I would type in one or two letters, and then that acronym would pop up. Or the on my way one is a good one. Or you're a jerk is a good one. But things that you know that you type all the time. Things you know that you type all the time. If you are constantly that one of those people who like types out the shruggy like thing with the arms and the face and the parentheses,
right.
You can do one for that too. So yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So that's a good one. My last tip, and this is by far the best one, and I don't want to oversell this, but this can literally save you tons and tons of time. Now, okay, the one that I set up, I had to delete because it no longer applies in my life, but I was using it regularly, and I just need to set up a new one. And you can have multiple of these. They're called shortcuts. They're shortcuts, and you can use them to automate common things. So the example that I found is someone created one called leaving. And when they say to Siri leaving, it will open up the navigation app and then text their significant other with their estimated time of arrival.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. So in order to do this, you need to have that app called Shortcuts on your phone.
Okay.
If you don't, get the app called Shortcuts. And then when you have it, you'll just go into the gallery, and there's all these different kinds that you can choose. And then you just choose Get Shortcut, and then you can follow the steps to like configure. It'll walk you through exactly how to do that. So you don't have to rely on, you know, oh my gosh, I have to know how to code to do this. Not at all. You just have to know like what you want it to do, and then you just choose the one that's appropriate that goes with it. So like if your navigation app is Waze versus, you know, Apple Maps, you can tell it which one you want it to open up. Does that make sense?
I am loving this.
Yes, it's a great thing. And when I did it, I used it for when I was going to work in the classroom all the time. I used it to like turn on my my like Zen little meditation app in the morning for the car ride. So like I had it I had it open up the navigation app just for traffic. I knew how to get to work, but I had it open up the navigation app for traffic, and then it would like open up a morning meditation to play in the car. That was about the length of time that it took me to get from home to work. So I don't use that same one anymore.
So in love.
Yeah, it's a really cool one. So I realize that shortcuts are probably new for a lot of people. So I have 3 links in the blog post that are related to this. One of them is what's a shortcut, and then a couple of other articles. One is from Lifehacker and one is from Mac Stories, and they are really great suggestions for what you can use the Shortcuts app to do for you. But like there are tons of like, yeah, there are tons of people who like on TikTok are like, I use the Shortcuts app to manage my ADHD. I use the Shortcuts app to walk me through my bedtime routine. Like all these things that would like that they do for their kids or whatever. It's full of great ideas. And some
like
of these ones
taking a shower in the morning.
Yeah.
Right. Like it would set a timer for me. It would open my Spotify app so I can put on my podcast.
Right.
Like,
great.
I love it.
Yeah. You could also, like you could set it to, I think, open up a specific playlist as well. So like if you were adding shows to a playlist, it could just automatically go to that playlist and play those for you. And you would, so all you'd have to do is just say like, hey, morning routine, and it would take care of that for you.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's really cool. And that one, I mean, it's hard to sort of talk you through those because you have to, like, I can't say what you need for yourself, but definitely take a look at the links that I've got in the blog post because you might find some that are super cool. I know that there's like at least 2 that I need to reset for myself. I think the leaving one is probably one of the most helpful things I've seen.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Are you playing with it right now? You are, aren't you?
I am. Yeah. That's why I'm distracted.
That is so funny.
I'm the worst. It's fine.
So you know what is cracking me up right now? This is hysterical. So I have 4 screens in front of me right now. My phone is also in front of me, but it's not like I'm not playing with my phone as we do this because I will get distracted. But I have my work computer and my extra monitor that goes with my work computer. But I also have my Mac laptop and my iPad set up because I have the iPad next to me for notes for the show.
Right.
And I don't know if you know this, but if you have a Mac and an iPad, you can, if you have them set up next to each other, you can use the iPad as a second monitor. You just like scroll.
How fancy is that?
Yeah, you just swipe across the screen and my mouse has like gone into my iPad. So I'm navigating on both using just my computer's touch mouse. It's really cool. I can't even.
That's so
word.
fun.
Yeah, trackpad. That's the word I was looking for. So yeah, so hopefully some of those tips are helpful. Jenny and I are going to wrap this show up early because it's our birthday and we have some celebrating to do. And by celebrating,
Cheers!
It's probably like a adult bevy and like a nap. Oh,
all right.
goodness.
Well, I would be remiss if I didn't, even on a cram sesh, say that you got to like us, you got to love us, you got to subscribe, you got to rate, you got to review, you got to tell your friends. It's our birthday. Let your birthday present to us be telling somebody that you haven't told before.
Right. It's like a free birthday present for us. Just do that. It'll be awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. And as any good mother would ever say, make good choices.
And make your phone work for you. Like, don't do all the work for your phone. You are not enslaved to your phone. Your phone is your productivity tool. Okay? Okay, bye.
All right. Bye.
Hey friends, thanks for listening to the CK and GK podcast. Find us at CK and GK podcast on Instagram and Twitter, and rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Good Pods, or anywhere else that you pod. See you next time.